Hello and welcome to the channel High Class Cthulhu. We're playing Demon Souls and I can feel the world changing around me. We're doing world tendency today. We're doing a lot of world tendency. So we are starting off in Latria to go and get some keys back in the second area. Running up to the first tower where we killed those guys holding up the chain as we have max. All of these worlds we're starting off in max world tendency because, as we have showed earlier, we actively made sure we were in soul form, so dying didn't affect world tendency, and just killing all the bosses gets the world to max positive world tendency. It's worked on percentage. I think it's like 45% positive for each boss you kill, and then other little bits raise it as well. But this opens up a little path up here. World tendency has a lot of stuff going on. Being in like positive world tendency will make enemies weaker, but being in black world tendency, you get more experience, you get a higher item rate drop, enemies are tougher though, and more black or no red phantom enemies will show up. It's just like it's a trade-off what you want to do. It's kind of harsh that playing worse and you're dropping your tendency down would make the game harder. I feel that's a little bit mean. I don't know if it changes like much multiplayer stuff. I'm not entirely sure. But we're actively killing ourselves now. we don't need to run back. It's fine. We've got everything. So we're now with Casimir. We're back in the Prison of Hope after getting that key. If you remember, there was that guy shouting for help. Lord Rydell, the brother of King Alant. He's locked up in here. We got the key to open his cell now and free his blue phantom form. Along with usually new NPCs that come along with positive world tendencies. Usually you get some black phantoms as well. Red phantoms, whatever you want to call them. I'm not even sure. Are they black phantoms? They are black phantoms. Sometimes they're like NPC characters. Sometimes they're just normal enemies. But we have Rydell.
Why, thank you. Thank you, kind soul. Please, take this fine piece of work. I have no use for it now. And thus begins my final, eternal rest.
I'm actually not sure what the doll's rat ring actually does. Off the top of my head. There's some more cells here. His weapon he has, the phosphorescent pole. We will get it and Casimir will have it. It is stolen from the Maiden in Black. We also can get what's the dude's name? The Venerable Sage boots. We've already looked at this stuff when Dengal killed Frake, but you can also get it here without killing Frake if you want. It's just that it was a priest set at some point and it was changed around. What was I going to say? Yeah, I think I might have mentioned it, that King Alant and Rydell probably travelled to the Nexus, which is where they found out about the soul arts and brought it back to Boletaria, and while there they stole the Maiden in Black's big old pole. She has a new one now though that lights candles. But yeah, which, you know, depending if you like the soul arts or not, it depends if you think they did a good or bad thing. I think overall probably pretty negative. A lot of dead people. Not great. We're gonna go through all these cells. We got a three-cornered hat. It's obviously just a witch's hat. Precise imagine the oddly one. This one was worn by one. We will find someone who does wear a witch hat, and it's hard to say if it's a berserk reference because a pointed hat is just kind of a known witch thing. But female sorceresses with big old hats do show up a lot in Souls games, and there's a very large chance they're references to Shurke. Shurke? Is that how you say it? I've never heard anyone else. Shurke? Shurke, the little witch lady from Berserk, who's very cool. She's great, and it has a bigger kind of one that looks even more similar in Dark Souls. But I guess. There's also a thing we'll find out later. I don't know if they'll hold off saying it. There's a thing about witches being born with a ring, this little ring. But there's also a thing about maidens for the church, like Maiden Astraya, being children or young women who, or just people, I guess, women mostly, who have found a holy relic, and then finding that turns them into saints. But it appears mostly it just depends what family you live in. If you're just like a woman in the woods and you find a magical ring, you're called a witch. But if you're born from like a well-known religious family and you find a little magical item, you're like made a saint. It's just kind of, depends what you're into, I guess. But yeah, there's loads. We'll find a witch character with more information about how witches, and also witches use soul arts, and priests and saints use faith, which we will also in this episode find an item that even more muddles if there is any difference between the two. There's not, other than, what do you believe? This door now opens. This one isn't a key based, this is just based on world tendency. Depends on if that door opens. There is more of these jailer guys in here, 2 of them, and then we'll clean up the rest of the items. Boletaria has quite a few world tendency stuff, but Latria makes you go backwards and forwards, and also the remake added stuff to Latria. Again, we'll be doing the swamp, but we want to do this first to get an item here. It also adds these ceramic coins. I might have mentioned it before. There is a door in the last area of Boletaria that if you get, it's a bunch. I don't remember how many, but it's a bunch of these coins. It opens up a door that wasn't in the original game, and you can get the Red Eye Knight armor set in there. It's a lot. You not only have to get all the coins in world tendency events, depending if you're positive or negative, depends what coins show up in different areas. You also have to use the mirrored world. We saw it slightly, with fractured world, but essentially mirror world. In the statue in the Nexus, it's also the rogue set. The statue in the Nexus, when you can change how you look and stuff, there's also a thing that potentially flips the game and turns it mirrored, and there's an extra bunch of coins in that. So it's a lot. There is a lot if you want to get it, and it will probably require New Game Plus. I don't know if by now they figured out whether there's enough you can get it in one playthrough, but I think it pretty much requires New Game Plus to get enough coins to open the door. It's just a thing Bluepoint does. They did it in Shadow of Colossus as well. There's a door under the big old temple, which if you gather, I'm pretty sure it's coins as well, you open up and get a special sword. It's just something Bluepoint adds, which is nice if you want a little extra secret thing. I ain't going to do it in this playthrough. There's people online who will show you that, but that's not what I'm here for. I'm just doing one. Well, I'm not. I'm doing 3 playthroughs, which I will come to regret as we play more of these games and they get longer. Demon Souls is not that long. We've probably got, what episode's this? 12? We've got 2 left. Yeah, 2 episodes left after that. Not that long of a game compared to, say, Elden Ring, or like Dark Souls 1's are not that long. Dark Souls 2, quite long, especially with all the added DLC. And Dark Souls 3 is quite long. So what we've just done is use a Stone of Ephemeral Eye to turn human form and then kill ourselves. I think it takes about 8 deaths to go from fully positive to fully negative. So yeah, just stand here, turn human, jump off the edge, to slowly lower your thing. Thing to be aware of though, the actual icon, when you load up it's like that white little eye. You'll know you're in black tendency because it goes black, funny enough, but it won't actively change colours until you leave the world and come back. So I may have messed up and out of grind Ephemeral Eyes at one point because I kept going longer than I needed to. I'm pretty sure it's about 7 or 8, but I would just maybe after like 3 or 4 load out the world, load back in, and just check the eyes changing colour and where you are. When it goes to that, you're at max black world tendency. Just remember to leave the world and come back because you may waste far too many. waiting for it to change, and it never will. So, once you get black, there is, as you can see down there, there are red phantom enemies that are much tougher but will give you more souls. They just do more damage and take more damage. You also get primeval demons show up in every world. What they are is a big way to bump your world tendency back to positive. I'm pretty sure I'm going to look on the little sheet next to me. Ah, my mouse is gone. Right, I'm just going to have a look. Well, we get the Sodden Ring. The Sodden Ring is essentially the Rusted Iron Ring from Dark Souls 1. Grants high mobility in deep water. This was not in the original Demon Souls. It's only in the remake. It's really good for getting through the swamp. I'm just going to look. So, killing a primeval demon, apparently, Jesus, bumps you up 75% back towards positive world tendency. So if you've accidentally screwed up massively and you keep dying in human form for some reason and you're stuck in negative world tendency, look out for the primeval demon and it will bump you back up towards positive. It also gives you a mixed demon soul. I'm googling as we do this. It will give you a colourless demon soul. My mistake. And with colourless demon souls, lots of boss weapons require them to be upgraded. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think they do. So yeah, you will need colourless demon souls to get some weapons fully upgraded. Just gonna Google that as well. I knew I'd have to have a web page open next to me because the world tendency gets confusing. As I said in the last episode, on like the Demon Souls wiki, there is like a permanent thread going for just world tendency because you can trade for upgrades or grants 5,000 souls when consumed. Yeah. So yeah, it allows you to upgrade things, and it's that gross thing on the right. It's really weird. I don't like it. God, cousin is so strong. It makes me uncomfortable. It's like a giant tick. I don't know. I really don't enjoy it. But yeah. So it bumps you back up 75%. I will show where they are in every world in case for some reason you get stuck in negative world tendency. So Latria is it. We're going to do all of the worlds other than Boletaria just because some of the world tendency stuff is in the final stage, and I want to show you that before we worry about world tendency. I also don't think until we beat the final boss of that we'll be at max positive world tendency, if I'm not mental. I'm gonna look at that as well. Really good. We're going Boletaria Palace. Apparently, beating a major demon only bumps you up 30% in Boletaria. Am I waiting for it to kill me? Yeah, I am. Okay, I was wondering what's happening there. It only bumped you up 30%, so yeah, we wouldn't be at max world tendency at the moment anyway. That'll have to be next episode, or the episode after, I don't remember. We're back here where Rydell was, because if you come here with negative world tendency, I'm going to hate saying it at some point, you get the Red Phantom of Rydell. The Red Phantoms of the NPC characters are way tougher than if you just killed their normal selves. But they always drop something extra, usually their weapon. Like he will drop the phosphorescent pole, which is a magical staff. As I've said, Casimir will have it on himself. Yeah, but look, they take way less damage. They pack a punch. They're pretty tough. And they're tougher than their normal NPC selves. Have we seen any? He drops phosphorescent pole. We will fight Garl Vinland, the Red Phantom of him. He drops his weapon. Obviously, we got his armor set when we beat him, but we didn't get his weapon, which begins with B. Not sure. There's a new character, Celine of the West, who is Garl Vinland's sister. If you beat her Red Phantom, you get the weapon Blind, which is a pretty cool dagger or short sword. So yeah, it's good to do it's one thing I really enjoy the world tendency system. I think it's a really cool morality system, which isn't just like a generic good and bad. Like there's a bunch of different things you can do that move it around. But it also means if you want to do everything in a playthrough, it's hard to role play a character. Like I don't go into it too much, but I play all these characters in like a role. Like we've got Dengal here, who again once started as a hero, and he's devolved into what he was, which is a weird monster, and now he's like kind of a religious monster who thinks he's doing God's work. And I play that, and I really love playing Souls games with that kind of headcanon. Like Amelia, the thief, coming here wanting to steal because she heard everything was going bad in Voltaria. But as she's seen people's plights and been hanging out with other people and been beating demons, she's slowly becoming a hero. Cool. You know, fun. I enjoy doing that, but it's quite hard to do it in Demon Souls. Just because, say I wanted to play a morally evil character like Dengal, I can't let the world tendency affect the world tendency, because it's way harder to go from negative to positive. So if you want to do everything, you have to kind of keep positive world tendency and then go to negative, and then you kill the primeval demon that bumps up to medium. So you just kind of stay at a medium point if you want to get everything, which means, yeah, there is character tendency, but as we've seen, it really only affects one thing. If you have negative character tendency, you get Mephistopheles and that's it. Positive world tendency will affect the soul brand and demon brand, I'm pretty sure. It affects them weapons if you have one of the weapons are stronger. But positive, you don't really get anything for it. Killing one of the other things, killing all of the Black Phantoms, you'll get a special ring if you speak to the Monumental. But you can also only get every Black Phantom if you do World Tendency, because in the swamp, you get, for getting Black World Tendency, there is a Phantom of Selene of the West, but Garl Vinland's Black Phantom only shows up if you're in positive World Tendency. So to even do like a positive character, to get like the Monumentals item, you need to have a positive and negative world tendency. So it makes it harder to kind of role play a character. Not massively, but if you want to get everything, you kind of end up playing each character very similarly. Well, gameplay wise, it's different, and the way they control and play and what items you use, but that's why if I play this off camera and I'm not trying to get everything, I'll just be like, I'll gun for what I want and not worry too much about world tendency, because it does take a lot to remember, and it's a weird system that never shows up ever again. But we're also in the swamp to get the thing, and as I said in the episode, this left path now has a ladder. And this is the first world tendency thing. There's usually one in the first part and the end part, except from Stonefang. There's a primeval demon at the start, but all of the world tendency stuff happens like right towards the end of like the Stonefang tunnels. Weird. I don't know why. I don't know why. Up here is obviously enemies, but there is just a weapon, and I think I mentioned that a few other saints were sent to this place. I forgot what it's called. Whatever. I'm just gonna look because I'm bad. I'm bad at this. The Valley of Defilement. A few different saints were sent here. I can't remember their names, but both of them had weapons that are faith weapons, obviously. One is the Moonlight Greatsword. One guy came in with that, and the other one was a spear, and it's this spear. Surrounded by a bunch of these guys, but this lava bow is actually insane. Like, it's so good. It's the best. Yeah, it's a spear. I don't remember what it's called. I wonder if it shows. Who knows? Who knows? We'll see it in literally 2 seconds, so it doesn't matter too much if I can't scroll to it in time. Astarel? Astarel. I don't know if that's how you say it, but it's this spear. Ah, it's kind of cool, and we got a trophy for it. Astarel. Astarel. Oh, we're actually going to look at it for once. Yeah, it's faith. It scales Short spear of hard oak covered in engraving. The spear is one of the few remains relic of a god once belonged to the Holy Knight. Receria. A divine nature of the spear increased the wielder's resistance to something. I missed it. Fine. Again, she was like another... I'm assuming she might have been a saint. Who knows? Now we're back in the main swamp. We have the sodden ring on, so we can now collect everything around the side without needing to worry about being slowed down. Very useful. We did leave some very obvious things, like where all those slugs were, is where the Moonlight Greatsword is. I did say you can easily just get it. I waited for this because I knew I was going to be getting like everything at once, so why not? There is the Red Phantom of the Woman in the Swamp, who like later becomes like a thing that reoccurs, being like Man-Eater Mildred and stuff. And there is now a new NPC, as I said, Celine of the West. She's come to look for her brother, Garl Vinland. And anything else massively major here? A few more. Also, I will be showing, I checked, I will be showing how to grind for Stone of Ephemeral Eyes. I'll be showing the NPC that drops them, just so you know where it is. Because I don't actually remember what character it was. It's whatever I first started trying this with, and I accidentally dropped off the edge too many times. Because I didn't know you need to leave the world and come back in for the eye to change. And I wasted a bunch of the stones, meaning I couldn't get some areas covered. To be fair, most of the others though I didn't need to really grind. Just collecting them throughout the game to the best of your ability and not using them, you'll probably have enough to do it in each world. And we got this little hill, but we're not getting slowed down anymore, which is wonderful news. We'll also get a new armor set, the Shaman set. It is not a world tendency thing. Oh my god, I just died. Well, that's real sad for you, Dengar. I did point it out, it's near where the shortcut is. I just didn't drop down to it. I could have, I just didn't. So we're going to get it this time. And it actually is it's a set I really like the look of. It's pretty cool. I do very much like it. There she is out in the swamp. Again, I think I said when they were like playtesting the game, someone made an NPC and was running around in the swamps messing with people. And the developers just liked it and added it there as like an homage to whoever was doing it. And it stuck around. It's Man-Eater Mildred and Dark Souls. The same NPCs pretty much in Dark Souls 3. Is there a swamp woman? There's not in 2, I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to think. Is there a swamp woman in 2? No. Is there one in Elden Ring? I feel there must be. There can't actually. Yeah, when you get into Caelid, there's that lady that shows up with a big old meat cleaver, isn't it? I'm pretty sure, and she's essentially the same thing. Caelid is essentially the swamp. I can't wait. I'm hoping. Well, I definitely will. I have this planned out. I'm assuming the DLC for Elden Ring will be out by the time we get to it, because I want to play all the Souls games on here. Hey, it's the butcher's. It's the big old meat cleaver that Dengal has. She's not that tough. Not tough for us now. We're really powerful. Yeah, we're going to do obviously Dark Souls. I'm saying this now. This may change, and who knows. Dark Souls after this. Dark Souls 2. Then we're going to have a little break of Dark Souls, and we're going to do Bloodborne. I'm kind of doing them when the games came out, like timeline-wise, other than this kind of breaks it, but you know, it's a remake, it's fine. Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3. Sekiro, I'm on the fence about. I'm not sure. The game is real hard. I beat it once, and only once, and I really enjoyed it, but I don't know how I'd feel about doing a playthrough of it. Maybe I will. We'll see. But yeah, Dark Souls 3, then Elden Ring. And I pray that the DLC for Elden Ring will be out by then. Who knows? Hopefully. But I also don't know how I'm going to do it in a fashion that would be reasonable. It's a long-ass game. Here is Celine.
Why? You are one of the sane ones, are you not? I am Selen of the West. I seek my brother's guardian. I believe they settled here. If you happen to see my younger brother, please tell me. I must share with him the last words of our father. I heard an unflattering rumor about Saint Estraya. It was that herb peddler. She believes that Estraya is herself a demon. She has no reason to lie, but surely she must be mistaken. I find something odd about this place. It brims with grime, but at once feels strangely pure. It brims.
Those mosquitoes. In Dark Souls, they fixed that. There's NPCs in the swamp, and the mosquitoes have like a box where they won't keep coming for you. Because that wasn't cool. I got real worried. So yeah, I do like the old woman is just literally every single person she meets, she's just slagging off Estraya to them. That's really funny to me. She just can't keep it in. We got these three big guys. They suck. Leave them one away at a time because they're real tough and they've got some cool stuff. Anything else? You can get Celine's set by completing this mission for her, or you have to kill her. You might actually have to kill her to get her set. Or maybe you can find it later. Jesus. He really screwed me. Yeah, you can. I think maybe find it later. It's rare that you have to kill the NPC to get their armor set. I know her Red Phantom drops her weapon, but I'm not sure about her armor. I might be mad. You can definitely get it from killing her though. Yeah, she's here. She says the swamp's kind of pure, and I kind of like the swamp. I just kind of enjoy it. I like it here. I like it in Dark Souls. People really have a problem with the swamps in these games, and I think it's because they usually, like in Dark Souls, Blighttown and the swamp, it used to run at a terrible frame rate and was kind of hell to play. But there's something about them. Except from Dark Souls 3, I really don't like the swamp in Dark Souls 3 because of those big guys with the trees who like shoot angry like souls at you. Anyway, he drops the Great Club. And we get some more stones of Ephemeral Eyes. He wanted to go home. More stones. And is that another stone? Look at all them stones. They are going to be useful. Yeah, I kind of like the swamps. I kind of enjoy them. I'm going to be honest. I might be weird, and I may regret saying that later on. But yeah, Dark Souls 3 I don't massively enjoy. But I feel like there'd be a nice place to chill. Everyone's kind of sad, and, you know, we'll just get along in unified misery. That's the true future I want. Everyone accepts how sad we all are, and just all pop your Cetralin at the same time. This guy's dead. I think we are gonna get. We're gonna get the Moonlight Greatsword. Nice. She also wants us to find out about Garl. If you run back to the boss room with Positive Tendency after speaking to her, he will be there in Red Phantom form. He is much tougher. He's a tough old boy. We'll be doing that. And here is where the colorless, the Primeval Demon will be in Black Tendency. We will show that, obviously. Obviously. Why wouldn't I? We're here. There's nothing else here, though. Go up here to where all the slugs were dropping from, and we will get... Look at these slug boys. I'm uncomfortable with them. They make me uneasy. Suckerstone. I don't remember what you do, Suckerstone. I can't wait until we get to the games where the like upgrade materials are just streamlined, and you haven't got to worry about 15 different, like, even in Dark Souls, there's so many different upgraded materials, but then like you get the Bloodborne and it's just Bloodstones. That's all it is. It's so good. And then you have the gems that change the effects. How does it have Elden Ring? How does it work in Elden Ring? Isn't it just base upgrades and then you can change like what the weapon does with like the whetstone? Maybe I'm imagining that. Maybe there's also a ton of upgrading with things. I don't remember. I don't remember. Elden Ring's weird. I really like... Wow, I forgot I did that. I really like Elden Ring, but I've only beat it once, which is rare for me. I think it's just because it was like 80 hours my first playthrough, and I kind of got time for that. That was madness. But I am excited to one day play it again, and hopefully with the DLC, so we can... I also dread having to do... Like, this is what I mean about I've dug myself a hole with, like, multiple characters, because... Oh, how am I going to... How am I going to do multiple characters of Elden Ring? Dear God. Dear God. Anyway, kill these slug boys. Real slow. Real slow. Oh, dear God. How slow? I just don't want to fall off again after that madness. Wow. Come on. Fall off. There we go. So the other saint dude who came here, I don't know what happened to him. I guess these slugs, they feed off magical crap. Because, or they're attracted to the light, I don't know. There's all those slugs in the ritual path eating that weird magical like water. So maybe they're just attracted to like blue light or magical energy. I don't know. But they were really attracted to the Moonlight Greatsword because it was in the middle of them. So we'll clear out the rest of the slug boys, and then there's the Moonlight Greatsword. I did already say it is in every Souls game in one form or another. I'm pretty sure it started off in Kingsfield. It showed up in Armored Core. It is here. It's in Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3. There is kind of a version of it in Sekiro. There is a version in Bloodborne, and there is 100% a version in Elden Ring. I really like it. It's kind of cool. I don't have the stats right now to use it. It requires 24 faith. Do not worry. Dengao is a religious man, and if he has to build up his faith to be able to use this weapon, he will, because he is a man of God. Or at least he thinks he is, and he thinks God has his blessing. So also down here, where we didn't go last time, is the Shaman set. Nice. And another hero soul. So the Shaman set, am I going to show it? I didn't read it. I don't know if it slows the amount of poison you get. I'm not sure, but it's cool. I like the look of it. I will have it like I grind off screen, mostly just to change how characters look. And as the game goes on, the cost of like accessing the statue and changing how characters look goes up, which is really annoying. But we will, and also everyone will get a little, as we get more armor sets, I'll take some time to have a little glow up and change up everyone's looks a little bit. I've been doing that the whole game, but it'll be a bit more obvious. Some cool looks coming up, or at least what I think are some cool looks. Running now back to where Astraea was. Where did you even come from? We're running back to where Astraea was, and we're going to fight the Red Phantom of Gull. Like, I also don't know, I will change Dengao quite a bit, because I like the idea of, like, becoming a demon, whatever that means. Like Astraea, it didn't really visually change her, but, like, the Knights of Boletaria, they all changed, if that was them, or if it's just a bit of their soul. I don't know. Who knows? So yeah, there he is, Red Phantom Gull. He is tough. Down there is where I don't know if I'm going to show me getting them. Obviously with the Sodden Ring, it's easy to move through that area now. But oh, we've also got the large soul of searching. That's cool. You get that from trading in the hero soul, the boss before the final boss of the ritual path. I've mentioned it before. It increases your item discovery, which I'm pretty sure I've got Amelia's sword to max now. I'm pretty sure by now I would have 100% grinded that out, which sucks, but I did it. I've already talked about that long ago. Go back to the first time we went the ritual path for information on grinding for the Bladestone chunk. It is the worst, but getting the Soul of Searching is really useful. It just increases your item drop rate. Also, again, being in Black World Tendency increases item drop rate, so just good to know as well. We were doing bleed damage on him there, pretty good with Amelia. And Bengal, what is the name of his weapon? Is it Broom? Broom. Begins with B. Because Celine's weapon's blind. Is it Broom? Again, you just want him to... Or that's how much damage he does. He does a bunch. He's tough as hell. And he will heal. He will try and heal. Because he's a man of God. And all of them are wonderful. Wonderful people. And there we go. What is the name of the weapon? It is... Crap. It is... It is... oh yeah, I don't know if I've ever shown this. You can send stuff to storage from here, which you couldn't do in the original game. You couldn't do it in original Demon Souls. It is Brammed and the Vinland Crest. The Vinland Crest is what you got to show to Celine, but Brammed, dreadfully large crude iron hammer, one of the Vinland family treasures, said to have been bent in shape by killing giants. Increases the plague and poison. It's pretty cool. I'm not going to use it. We've kind of got our weapon set out. Other than Casimir, who will start using the phosphorescent staff. It is kind of cool. Boom. Like, it's a quick weapon for how big it is. But we've got the halberd, and we're going to have the Moonlight Greatsword for Dengal. Because it's just it's a cool... And obviously we've got the meat cleaver. Not going to really use it, but I don't know. It's cool. There's also rings way stuff, which I feel like they shouldn't, you know. I just feel like rings shouldn't weigh stuff. I also kind of like I also kind of hate that the cling ring is so required, so it essentially means you only have one ring slot. It's kind of sad. I don't know why they did it. I guess because you could go through with like no health if you wanted to, or you could always be in human form, which why would you do that if you're trying to get world tendency stuff? It's just it happens there's a big issue in Dark Souls 1. While you don't lose health when you die, I will talk about it when we get there, but you essentially have to leave one ring slot for Covenant stuff if you want to interact with any of the Covenant things.
That crest. A Vinland heirloom meant for my younger brother. So, my brother and Astraea have both strayed from the path of God. The poor souls. Perhaps their hearts were too pure. Umbasa. Oh, traveling warrior. I hesitate to ask, but can you part with that crest? Garl has strayed from the path of righteousness, but I wish to have the heirloom in honor of our Vinland blood. I shall reward you in kind. Thank you, kind warrior. As Garl's sister, I express my deepest thanks for your honoring of his name. Please accept this as thanks. Perhaps you will have use for it, as he now does not. May you receive God's blessing. Umbasa.
Hey, it's about prayer, ring of prayer. Increases your faith damage, I'm pretty sure, but we're going to kill Celine. Again, she's like way weaker than she will be later, but we're going to get a armor set. The dull glow, blah, 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 dull gold armor, dull gold helm. It can only be worn by females, I'm pretty sure. We're going to We're gonna leave, apparently. This episode is sponsored by not Character Tendency, not World Tendency, but Them Tendency. In association with Saint Dengal's Church of Death and Wisdom. Don't ask questions, just come on down. Ignore the meat cleaver. And we're back with Casimir, and we're back here because we're gonna drop off the edge a load of times and kill ourselves again. This is the best spot to do it. There's not too much like Black World Tendency stuff. We have Black Phantom of Selene and the Primeval Demon. And also, yeah, you have to be in Black World Tendency. I remember now. You have to be in Black World Tendency to grind out the Ephemeral Eyes. I remember. I totally remember. Have we done it? Nope, we're not there yet. So close. Okay, we did it. So then we have Selene. You'll get, again, as I said, you'll get her weapon blind, which is a nice little thing with poisoning her. Look at all the spells we have. I hardly use them. It's the problem. I want to show off spells, but I'm so used to just playing Dex or Strength. I just forget I have quite a few useful spells. But as I mean, look, as I said, Red Phantom take a bunch more damage. Bunch more damage. I really like this curved, like, shotel. It's a cool weapon. I'm not sure what blind actively does. Like, I think it's just a good dagger. But we're just chipping her down because she just keeps trying to cast spells like a strange lady. I'm not sure if a Black Phantom will spawn if you haven't killed her. I feel like it might. She just might not be there and there might be a Black Phantom instead. I'm not sure. Not entirely sure. Because I always do it in this order because it makes sense to do it in this order. So I'm not entirely sure. But we get blind. This isn't the weapon where the hit, like the actual sword head, is invisible when you slash, is it? I don't think so. I think that's a later game. Let's have a look. Dex, bleed damage, curved sword, perfectly transparent blade. Yes, yeah, it's an invisible blade, which isn't massively useful, I guess, because it does a lot. Obviously, we haven't upgraded it. But I guess it'd be better for PvP, maybe. I don't know. But all the other thing we can do here now is the Primeval Demon, and then I will show you how you grind up Ephemeral Eyes. We're not going to fight all these because that's a lot. But there he is, our squidgy tick boy. I don't know what you are. You unnerve me and I find you really uncomfortable. And I want to get your soul before this guy straight up murders me. Oh god. Okay. Oh no. Get it. Get it. It's fine. I don't even care. Oh god. It's one of the issues with grinding for the Ephemeral Eyes. We are here. So from the Rotting Haven, run back. I'll do it like a guide online. Run back until you see the blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. So to the right of here, there is a giant one of these defiled guys. There he is. That is, ignore the death I've already had here. He is the guy that will drop Ephemeral Eyes. Problem is, he's a Black Phantom version. He's tough as hell. He does a lot of damage, and he will mess you up. Clear out these little guys around here. There's one little guy hidden in here because you don't want to be fighting them while you're trying to kill the big guy. And then just work him down. He is tough. He is a tough old boy. But just take your time. Make sure you've killed them all, because god damn it, that's annoying. And you know, you might have to grind out some. Depends what you've done in the game. Depends if you use them or not. Or, you know, you might need one or two. Other than this, I don't actually know of any other ways. Maybe being summoned will turn you human and then you can kill yourself again. But that's a long ass process. Kill that guy. And Stone of Ephemeral Eye. He's pretty much, I think he's guaranteed to drop one. So every time you do that little run back to here, he will have one. That's what you need to know. Yeah, we've upgraded Dringo a bit because now he can use them with like great swords. We just have to. He's a religious man. He's doing God's work. It's like Bob Barker. It's like the news guy from DMC Devil May Cry. Yeah, it does a ton of damage. Especially against these guys. God, it's a cool weapon. Look at it. Look how cool it is. I'm not sure if they ever get, like... It doesn't ever shoot out laser beams or anything, does it? I'm trying to remember it in other games. Like, I like it a lot in Bloodborne. It's cool. You have to fight a cool boss to get it. The quest line in Elden Ring to get it is really cool. Well, it takes a long time, but it's cool as hell. Yeah. Dark Souls 1, it's annoying as hell to get because you have to cut off a boss's tail, and I never got it to work properly. Anyway, down here is the positive world tendency thing. It's a guy called Skavir.
Of the unknown.
Skavir. I'm taking a lot of risks trying to get these.
Far.
I think
Were you
it's
guided by sixth sense?
Skirver?
Or just plain lucky? Either way, you're quite something. Shall we put your luck or skill to the test? Have you heard of the temple below? It is a work of art molded by the ancient burrowers to appease the bones of dragons. As a precaution, a broad sword which can crush the bones of drakes is stored in the temple. Truth told, it's the laughingstock of many a swordsmith. They say it's as blunt as a bludgeon. A dull blade, meant to slay a dragon. Curious, is it not? I would search for it myself, but I'm afraid I'd fare poorly against the demons. If you happen to come upon the sword, please, let me have a look at it. This place is incredible, eh? The bones of dragons, exuding awe. A dream come true.
So he wants to see a weapon, which we can get if you're in a world tendency event. Because back here, we didn't show it last time because we were fighting a big dragon god. But if you go through here and to the left, there is a Berserk reference. Because they weren't even subtle about it. You can only get through here if you are in a positive or negative world tendency. Otherwise the path is blocked by rubble that can't be destroyed. Just get this. You never know what it's going to drop. It might be of some use. But there is a big old sword. Look at it. It's so big you couldn't even call it a sword. It's a slab of iron. A lump of iron that's smashed froze, mocked by blacksmiths who snidely refer to it as a slab rather than a sword. It's used against dragons. It is essentially the Dragon Slayer from Berserk. It's huge. Each swing takes a massive amount of time. It is cool though, and it's really heavy. It's really not an efficient weapon. It's pretty much a reference to Guts' sword from Berserk. It's shaped different, and later on they will just put Guts' swords in the game. But for now, that's kind of a little Berserk reference, which is nice. And once you get the weapon, you just got to show it to him to do his quest. Pretty simple, easy enough to do.
Oh, wonderful. The arts of swordsmanship applied in a perfectly useless manner. Look at that. Oh, don't mind me, thank you. It was a pleasure. Please take this as a small show of thanks. Take care of this one, will you? She's a stunner.
Yeah, it's not massively a useful quest, but it's easy enough to get that. But if we kill him, which it's always Dengal's job to just be evil as hell. I'm pretty sure he drops something. Is it a ring? Is it the Ronin ring? Yeah, the Ronin ring, which stops weapons degrading. We already got one at an earlier point. So there's not many more. There's no more positive world tendency stuff. There is only negative. We're going to go to the final bonfire here, and we're going to jump off this edge a bunch. There is only 2 other things you can do here. With Black World Tendency, there is obviously a primeval demon. And there is also Scurvers. Black Phantom. Which he drops an item you can get elsewhere, but it's probably, I think, that one of the earliest ways you can get it. Maybe not. You can definitely get them, and it's a pretty big lore item, and more into the whole faith and soul arts are the same thing, and the religious group are just kind of foolish. When the Monumental got rid of the soul arts, it kind of became an evil thing in the world, and a religion grew up around the idea of the soul arts being evil because it was banished. Even though all the faith spells started working when the old god came back, which is, you know, weird. They don't connect the two. It's very strange. Anyway, is it the old? What is it called? Down here's the primeval demon. It's not the old god. It's the old one. The old one. That's what it is. Anyway, primeval demon. It's essentially an old god. It's like an eldritch horror. It's a little bit of their Lovecraftian horror. An unknowable, soul-devouring god with no cares about the rest of humanity. It's a little eldritchy. It's even like an old one, you know. It's not Cthulhu, but it's close. And yeah, once we've got the primeval demon, we can now fight the... He's also actually a lot tougher. Strange. How strange. I don't know what that buff does. I don't know. Who knows? Okay, I said he's a bit tougher. He's not really tough. Oh, he has fire spells. Look at you. We're going to mess him up quite quick with Amelia, though. I'm pretty sure another character, yeah, Dengal, I had to knock him off the edge. Jeez. What a way to go. And then was like, ah, crap, do I know how to get there? And I do. I do know how to get there. So this item also kind of comes back in a few forms in different games. I think it's kind of like Velka's Talisman in Dark Souls, where it allows you to... I know, maybe not. Doesn't it just straight up let you cast spells and faith with it? We'll have a look. So Talisman of Beasts. Hey, there's a Talisman of God. And that's quite an updated version, maybe, of the same thing. The Talisman of Beasts... can we read the description? Do I remember how to read the description? There we go. An Old One amulet features a symbolic depiction of the Old One. Can be used to cast both miracles and magic. What was once considered a depiction of God was in fact the image of the Old One portrayed as a force of feral chaos. And the modern talisman is kind of like a rooty, plant-like modern interpretation of that. So, the god of the faith is just the Old One. It's just the Old One, and they've forgotten over time. Which I really like, and I'm wrong. It allows you to cast magic and faith spells with it, because they're the same thing. They're both affected by the Old One's return. It's the same.
Hey, you over there. You seem to have your head about you. Come here. I have a proposal for you. Do not be afraid. You have much to gain. I am Satsuki. I seek a keepsake of my father. Have you seen the sword inscribed Makoto? I will offer you demon swords if you can help me find it. The Makoto chooses its master. But be warned. The Makoto is no sword for the faint of heart.
So if you remember back when Pat just kicked us into that pit, I said on top of the little mound there was an item. With Max World Tendency, that item falls off and it is the Makoto. This kind of quest line almost comes back in Dark Souls but was cut. But here it is, Makoto, Magic Sword Makoto. It hurts you. It's a cursed weapon. It devours the will essence, robs of warmth. So it does quite a bit of damage, but with every hit you take a little bit of damage. This sword comes back as the Chaos Blade in Dark Souls, and there's another Asian dude called Shiva of the East who had a questline that was cut where he would want to take the Chaos Sword from you. And this dude may want to do the same thing. There's a few outcomes to this, whether you give him the sword, whether you're wielding the sword when you talk to him, or whether you refuse to give it to him. They're all the same outcome, but different dialogue.
You have found the Makoto, have you? Bless your good fortune, and, well, good work. Now, just hand Makoto over to me. Yes, this is she. This luster, it's finally mine. But could this sword really be as deadly as they say? There is only one way to find out.
So he will attack, and we get a trophy for giving him the sword. He's not that tough as such. And you can get the Makoto off him. Again, if you have the Makoto in your hand when you speak to him, he will just straight up attack you for holding it. If you say no to him, he will attack you. If you give it to him, he will attack you. But yeah, it almost came back in Dark Souls of Shiva having like a quest to get the Chaos Blade and taking it from you. I'm pretty sure it was cut though. Yeah, that's about it. I think I'm showing off. God, he's screwing me up. Yeah, every hit you take a little bit of damage. It's kind of good if you level it up, but also I don't want to take damage, and I've got a perfectly good sharp Uchi Katana +5. Look at that, +5. Fuck. It does more bleed damage, a lot more bleed damage, but again, we're just going to keep with what we've got. Too late to be upgrading other weapons now. It's fine. To be fair, this has even less stuff in it than probably the. Well, it's very similar to Stonefang. You get a weapon, and there's an NPC and a red phantom and a primeval demon. That's about it. So if you kill yourself a bunch of times, again, here, bunch of times. Poor Casimir. Why am I making him do it every time? I don't know. I don't know why I picked Casimir as the victim. But yeah, we'll speed this up again. And yeah, there's a primeval demon, and that dude, I've forgotten his name already, he comes back as a red phantom that is really tough. Like, he's a really tough red phantom. It's also not great because you spawn and there's the skeleton as well. It's quite a tough fight, but there's nothing else here. Nothing else at all. Have we done it? Yeah. So here we go. Red Phantom. He instantly attacks you. So if you move too far forward, the skeleton will fight you as well, which makes this whole fight way more difficult because, you know, you're fighting a skeleton and him. But he will kill you really quick if he gets enough hits on you. But Amelia's a beast, so, you know. Casimir had a way worse time, but... Oh god. Oh no, I've triggered it. And he's healed up. Okay, it's fine. We got this. I don't know if he has the Makoto on him now or it's just a normal standard sword. I assume it's just a standard sword. Oh, I did the R2. I hardly ever do the R2. Look at that. Yeah, we'll clean up. He does, to be fair, lots of the other characters like Casimir, I died a bunch because he's really tough and he don't stop bloody healing. I'm not letting him get a hit, but he does do damage. He's a tough dude. Is there... I'm not sure if there's like the Chaos Blade comes back in... I'm sure it does come back in the other game. There's usually always a sword that does like damage to you. I call it the Chaos Blade because that's just what I think of. But it's the Makoto, the magic sword Makoto. Bye. I'm not sure what he drops. He is wearing the Shaman set though, which is nice. What does he even drop? I don't remember. Hiltless. We've already got it. We got it from earlier on. That's fine. And we've now just got the Primeval Demon to get, so we're back here. And it is just through the secret path we opened up the top of these stairs. Through here. Watch out for the big skelly boy with the two swords that will jump at you. That guy. But we can kind of deal with him now. We're ready for him. I beat him 1,000,000 times on the stairs to get that blade stone. He's dead. I think I actually had an aneurysm that he gave me a pure blade stone after I spent, I think, about over an hour grinding one out. I think I may have had an aneurysm at that point. I forgot that I got another one. That's mind-numbing. Anyway, the Primeval Demon's here. Jesus, I forgot that I got another one that easy. Jesus. Anyway, yeah, we've done all the world tendency other than Boletaria. Woo, we did it all, guys. Thanks for sticking it out with me, and I hope maybe you learnt something. Because that's what I'm here for. To help you. Because they said I had to. I have no choice. I haven't seen my wife in a while. Anyway, back to the Nexus and the end. So, Casimir's, questioning Frake. Like, I need to know what the hell is happening. Why were you a priest once? Why is the god the same thing as everything else? It's so weird. Amelia's hanging out with Crestfallen. They're chilling. She's made friends with everyone here. She's having a nice time. She looks sad, but she isn't. There's just no other remotes, but blood, please. And Dengao. He's seen God. He has found his holy weapon, his holy relic. He's essentially Saint Dengao at this point. He's Saint Dengao. And that's the final one. Inside Boletaria's gate, where the streets intertwine, lie traps, but officials, blah, 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 blah. And the big fog gate that was blocking the way. Is it still here, or do we have to get rid of it? Yeah, it's still here, but we will clear it next time, on which is the penultimate episode. God, we've done it, guys. How cool is that? So yeah, thanks for watching the channel High Class Cthulhu and its high class content. Come back next week as we do one of the final stages. And we're playing Dark Souls. We're playing Devil May Cry 3. And I don't remember what we're playing on the weekend. Who knows? But yeah. Thanks for watching. And Umbasa.